Hello and welcome to Dragon Ball Speak, a show where we summarize and review every episode of Dragon Ball Z, and we rate them each on a scale of 1 to 7 stars. I'm one of your hosts, Brandon.
And I'm Wesley, and we're back.
This is Dragon Ball Speak, episode 67. So a couple things.
Yeah, just a couple.
So Wesley lived with me for a couple months.
And then he kicked me out because I couldn't pay rent.
And then Wesley moved out. So we had to move Wesley. This is actually Wesley's home. It's the Temp Studio.
Yeah.
And then
we're probably going to have a new studio in like
another
2
month
months,
or two. And then I'm actually getting married in a month from like tomorrow or something. I don't know what day it is. But so things are kind of crazy right now.
And the holidays, obviously.
And the holidays was the whole thing, and New Year's was the whole thing, and then I've been very busy with work, and Wesley's been busy with work. Yep. I have 2 jobs. Wesley has a demanding job. Okay, so anyway, it's been crazy, but to those of you who've stuck around, thank you so much, because we really genuinely appreciate it.
Yeah.
Truly.
You know, like all the big boys, all the big podcasts out there, they take nice little holiday breaks. Was ours like 6 weeks? Yeah, but you know what?
It wasn't 6 weeks.
It feels like
it does. We also didn't announce it.
Yeah,
it just kind of happened.
But we're back. We're recharged. We're, as the old Dak says, back in black. We're back in black. We're ready to party.
Down, out, down now.
Whoa.
Hit the solo.
Are you Spider-Man? From Far From Home when he's like, I know just the song.
Oh, I love Led Zeppelin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I forgot about that line.
That what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay.
Side note, I don't like that they make Tom Holland Spider-Man completely unaware of anything that's like 10 years older than him.
Have you ever seen that movie Star Wars? It's like, shut up, dude.
What's the snow planet with the tall guys?
Yeah, it's cringy.
Is this
like he's
Zeppelin?
watched Star Wars. He's a nerd.
Exactly.
Anyway, first off, before anything, I wanted to shout out a couple people because, one of them is long overdue, and then one of them's a little newer. First off, throw it up on the screen for everyone, please. At Zach_Khalifa. So Zach actually is such a big fan of the show. He very graciously sent us 2 figures to use on the show, which we, of course, Well, first off, so I can't show one of them to Wesley yet. It's very, very close.
And you know what? We're not even. Don't be upset or anything. It's on us. You probably sent it thinking, oh, they'd be at
this part by now, and we're just almost there. Yeah. So I can't wait to open that on live camera with Wesley. But it's just the coolest thing in the world that he would do that. So Go ahead and give him some love. That's like the coolest thing ever, basically. I never would have expected someone to be so nice. And it means a lot. And happy holidays to him. And then at Jordan L. Durham is, I can't believe I haven't actually shouted him out yet. Because
an OG.
He really legitimately is an OG. So he runs our Facebook fan page. He wrote our intro. He and at 6 Pocket Studios Six Pocket Studios did the art for our avatars that you see, but and then Jordan L. Durham, basically they worked together on that to do that for us as a gift, which is amazing.
Yes, so good.
And he's just been a huge supporter of the show in general, and like really one of my good, I would say one of my good Dragon Ball friends, and he's been awesome. So we talk on Twitter all the time. Be sure to check out Dragon Ball Infinity. It's his fan manga. It's a Dragon Ball story. It's extremely cool. I'm subscribed to his Patreon as well, so please check out his Patreon and
I'll
just
put a
give
link
him some
in the
love.
bio.
Please do. These are all. Oh, and he does like Dragon Ball analyses on Twitter, which are always freaking on point. And he's like sometimes the only person I follow on Twitter that understands Dragon Ball writing because so many people don't. Or so many people just misunderstand Dragon Ball writing. So he's a super good resource. Anyway, bear with us in the meantime with all this wedding stuff and the moving stuff, and we'll be as consistent as we possibly can. And thank you for your support. Now with that out of the way,
Let's talk about some big old Dragon Balls.
A dark and secret power.
Oh my gosh. I didn't know that was the name of the episode.
It was the name of the episode. Episode 216 of Dragon Ball Z. We're coming to the edge.
Yeah.
As they say. We're getting to the ending of Dragon Ball Z. It's episode 293. Do you feel like this is setting up the final arc or what? What do you feel right now?
Right now, I feel like and it's too early and it actually doesn't make sense, but I feel like I'm in not setup, like I'm still really enjoying, but I feel like we are leading towards setup for like Super, which I know doesn't make sense because Super wasn't even like a concept when Dragon Ball Z was over, but like it feels like we're building to some big things. And just because I know Supers exist and we're coming closer to the end, I feel like we're setting up like some big universe type shit that Super will address. But the reality is that that's probably not what's happening because I don't think Super was even an idea by the end of Dragon Ball Z. So
Super wasn't really an idea until like you could say at the earliest 2013 when the movie came out.
Really, it just feels like we are expanding the universe. We're about to expand the universe in big ways.
Yeah, so the gist of what we're covering today, well, we'll get to it, but the big thing that we're covering today is going to be Videl versus Spopovich.
Yep.
How do you feel about the fight?
I was sick.
Yeah. It's like cool. Low-key one of the better ones in Dragon Ball.
Yeah, it's like probably the most brutal fight we've seen so far, which is kind of crazy because there's been killings and body limbs being taken off, but there's something like so visceral and like human about this. I think knowing that she's just a human and goes through all that like is crazy.
She's just a human who's like insanely strong.
Yeah.
And the fight was so compelling because it starts off like she's killing it, dude. Like she's destroying, like he's getting wrecked. And she's super strong and like it's really cool. She's obviously stronger than her dad. Like it's really cool that she's doing that well. And then like kind of like as time goes on, like they do it really well with the music, especially and stuff. They use the Super Saiyan Vegeta theme. They use the original Super Saiyan theme. But they kind of like use this, or they kind of like are good at establishing like that something's like off. I think. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
They kind of are good at establishing that something's off. Like the more time goes on, you're like feeling like this is kind of weird. And then Goku's like, something's not right. And so you're like, okay, something's actually not right. And Vegeta's kind of watching and analyzing, and he, isn't speaking.
He's just like, let me out. Let me go do this. I can handle this.
Yeah, right. And then eventually sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, just like for the first half of the fight, she's basically beating the shit out of him. And he goes down, and everyone's like, yay. And then he gets back up. And at first you're just like, okay, he's got a second wind, whatever. He watched Creed 2 last night. He's got the hype in him. And then he gets beaten down again, and then he gets up. And then at that point, Goku's like, this is not good. She needs to quit. Like, she needs to walk out or something because something's fishy here. But she doesn't. And she keeps putting her down, and to the point where we get to a moment where you're like, this dude's clearly done. And that is that she hits him so hard that his neck or his head spins all the way back.
Yeah, she broke his neck.
Yeah, and he's looking back, and then he falls.
It's brutal.
And it's a brutal moment, but it's also funny because everyone's just like, oh no, like what the heck? And I'm like, she just murdered.
He's dead. Dude. And she doesn't really say anything. She's just like,
she just kind of falls to her knees, almost in like a. Okay, I mean, it's done.
Everyone is grossed out.
Yeah,
but like, that dude's dead. Probably
like very dead. And the announcer's like, she won, but she's also disqualified for excessive force. And I'm like, okay.
That was like low key a very spot on impression of the announcer voice.
He's like excessive force, which is funny. It's like he sounds like a cop. Like excessive force is an understatement. Like she killed this dude, and which I was like, damn, she's gonna get disqualified. And then he gets back up. And I was feeling pretty good about my theory from the last episode, which if you'll remember, it's been a minute, so it's okay if you don't. My entire theory with these dudes with the symbols on their heads is that they're like some kind of weird Frankenstein powered by another dude type shit. And I was feeling pretty good about that until more towards the end. But
we're definitely getting strong Frankenstein vibes.
Yeah.
Like the fact that they're basically they're not taking damage.
Yeah.
The one, Spopovich, they said like before, so like a couple of the guys on the side are like saying like he's super different than before. He wasn't this strong. He couldn't fly, et cetera, et cetera. Which, oh, by the way, whenever she ends up, So there's a point where she almost gets knocked out of the ring, but she flies back in, and everyone's like, and Goku's like, man, she probably should have just did like a ring out because she's not like, this isn't good. Anyway, later on, she flies up into the air to get some reprieve from Spopovich.
That's kind of where this episode ends. He flies up, and then the narrator.
Yeah, but I loved it because it was like an Iron Man, Ironmonger moment. Like Iron Man flying up, and then Ironmonger's like,
I can do that too. And then he goes like higher, and the episode ends, and you're like, shit.
Yeah, but what did you do about the ice problem? She should have just kept going up. Anyway, so we also get a big quote unquote reveal, I guess you could say, in this episode where Piccolo is sussing out Shin, and he's so he's like, I have to ask you something, and he's like, okay, and he's like, are you the Grand Kai? And we know the Grand Kai is the old dude,
cool as shit old dude.
Yeah, and he says, no, I'm not. And then Kibito goes, I'll tell you, he's the Supreme Kai. But which sounds silly, but then seeing Piccolo's reaction is like, oh shit, that's a big deal.
I went on like a roller coaster of emotions with this reveal and how it plays out through the 3 episodes. I thought these guys were villains, like the next villains. But as far as we know, the Kais are not villains, and they're like actually really important protector like characters.
Essentially, like it seems like they're like overseers of the universe kind of thing.
Yeah, like Watchers from Marvel or something. And I'm still not sure where I land on them because I still think they might be a little evil or their intentions are weird. But and later in the like Piccolo's clearly scared of the guy. I thought with our last episode, the way Piccolo reacted to him, that this dude was like a villain beyond belief because Piccolo's like too scared to fight him. Now it just seems more that Piccolo's aware of these Supreme Kai, so he's like, there's no shot I could beat him.
I think it's more that he didn't fight him out of respect for like the position.
And I was going to bring that up because I was kind of jumping ahead to the last episode, just a small little part. Vegeta's saying something to Supreme Kai, and Piccolo's like, hey, watch your mouth. Like, that's the Supreme Kai you're talking to.
Which he told him not to tell anyone.
Yeah.
And then Piccolo just told everyone anyway.
Yeah. And so, I don't know. I don't know if these guys are bad guys or not. I don't know. It's weird.
They're very suspicious. The way they're acting is almost like, I don't know, like they are like villains, but like, as far as we know, they seem to just be like observing a situation.
Yeah,
it seems. And right again, jumping to the last episode, we're just kind of all over the place this time, but when Gohan's about to go in and fight Kibito, they're kind of like, or right before that, he's kind of like, you know what to do. And he's like, yeah. And they're like, kind of like, you can tell they have some sort of plan. Oh, and then he tells Goku and them, he's like, no matter what happens, don't go into the ring. So something weird is going to happen that makes them want to help Gohan because like clearly something bad is going on. But the Supreme Kai, who is the highest deity that we know of at this point, is telling them that they can't. And then... so that's weird. So, like, what could possibly... We know Gohan's quite possibly the strongest of all of them. So it's like, what could possibly happen there?
And I'm inclined to believe that Piccolo will stop Goku if Goku tries to go in.
I would think so, because
Piccolo respects the Supreme Kai enough that if the Supreme Kai is like, don't interrupt whatever's about to happen, Piccolo would be like, Goku, trust the process. Like, trust me, it's the Supreme Kai that says this, it's very sus. Everything's sus. My prediction is that they're gonna like do something to him to make him kind of like Spopovich, but that would be so weird and evil. But like, if you watch that happen, you'd want to jump in and stop it. That's the only thing I can think of that they would want to do to stop Gohan. But
why would they do that though? Do you think?
Exactly. That's the thing. They would be, if they did that. If they wanted to do that, it's just because they're villains and like villains.
So you think kind of like a switch them over to the other team kind of thing, or something?
Build
like kind of Frankenstein them.
Seems like they're kind of building an army of dudes, but Spopovich doesn't appear to be anything more powerful. Like he doesn't. I can understand why you'd want Gohan to turn into one of your Frankenstein dudes because Gohan's a beast, but Spopovich is just like a strong dude.
Yeah, no, I have no question that like for example, like Gohan or like Goku could destroy Spopovich effortlessly.
Spopovich is just a
really strong dude. He was a really strong, fairly strong fighter or whatever you want to say.
Stronger than him,
right? And then he got, well, we can only assume, like you say, like a mind controller, a Frankenstein situation.
Yeah.
Anyway,
before we get to all that, well, we kind of already have episode 2. Well, actually, We finished 216. That ends with them in the air fighting.
Yeah, what did you give it?
I would probably give it like a 5 out of no. Whoops, sorry. These episodes all go together. It's one big thing that happens. I would actually give this one probably a 6.
I gave it a 6, man. Yeah. It's really good.
Yeah.
Like the animation's really good, the fighting's super good, and like I don't know, just like the slow shift to like Videl losing is I think really, really well done. Yeah. And like observing, and it was a super good episode.
Agreed.
And the plot and stuff. So 217, Videl is crushed.
Spoilers.
Spoiler alert. But she sure did get crushed. Yeah. And it's brutal. Like it's hard to watch, kind of.
25 minutes of that scene from Dark Knight Rises where Bane beats the shit out of Batman over and over.
He even did the backbreak move. And
I thought she was dead. I was like,
what does he say?
Bane?
Yeah, when he breaks his back.
Something about, he just says like, now I will break you.
No, he says first your body, then your spirit, or something like that.
Yeah, because then
I don't remember.
It is something like that.
Because I Must Break You is from Rocky 2 or 3 or 4.
I Must Break You. Yeah.
Anyway, Videl's crushed. So yeah, they're up in the air. He fires an energy blast at her, and they're like,
she can't do anything about because she's a human. Like,
yeah, I mean, like she could probably like block or deflect, but at this point she's like super tired and like kind of out of it already. Because he's not getting tired, but she is. He seemingly has limitless energy, which Vegeta then after this energy blast, they're like, that was kind of weak at least, and he's like, well, no, he just can't kill her, and they're like, oh yeah, and then Vegeta's like, he's working with some kind of limitless power. So I guess Vegeta's seeing that he's like not getting tired, and then Goku's like, he's working with a power that he's never had before, which is weird. Yeah. Like we don't know how or why, and so
Frankenstein, that's how.
Right. And then Videl basically, she has like one last good few hits on his face, and then she just starts getting the beat down.
He puts her down, and the gang's like, Jesus Christ, please stay down. Like,
did you think there was a chance of her dying?
Yeah, I thought she was dead.
Yeah.
Like 3 times. There's like multiple hits where I'm like, she's dead.
They like definitely frame it like he's going to kill her.
Yeah. Like multiple times.
Yeah, for sure. And the music and the mood.
Yeah.
And like the tone, of course. Like I said, the tone here is really well done. Like it feels like we're not watching a tournament match. It feels like we're watching like Cell kill someone or something. Like it's very like off-putting.
They're at a point where she's getting the shit beat out of her, but it's still very like it seems fair. Like, oh, he's getting the better of you, and she goes down, and the gang is like, Videl, don't get up. Like, this is where this needs to end, which they've been wanting it to end for a while now because they know something's up. But Videl gets up, and that's where things really take a shift. She's basically done, like out for the count, but she had enough energy to stand up, and Spopovich just goes in. She's basically a rag doll, and he's just punching and kicking the shit out of her until we get to a point where he raises her up and then slams her onto his knee. Like slams her back onto his knee, and I was like, okay, she's dead.
And he was holding her by the hair and punching her in the face and the stomach, and she's like coughing up blood many times.
They animated it so cool. When he picks her up, like she freaks out, like really freaks out, like cry, like screams like a 16-year-old girl who's about to die would scream, kind of like you can feel the real fear going on inside of her.
She's like too stubborn to give up, but she's also not able to fight back anymore. Yeah. It's like super. Bleh. It's
and
like
she's holding him. He's holding her, and she's like out, like she looks like dead. And then he punches her, and her whole like face lights up, and her eyes kind of pop a little bit, like open. And then she falls back to ragdoll. And he just keeps punching her, and she just like keeps like it's like turning on like a light bulb.
And she's like super bloody. And then eventually, and so Gohan starts getting mad. He's like, "This is going way too far." Oh yeah, he knocks her out of the ring, but catches her before she can go out of the ring, just to keep beating the shit out of her, which is absolutely like. Savage.
The freaking everyone in the crowd's like freaking out. Chi-Chi's like, that's my future daughter-in-law. Like, stop this. The announcer's like losing his mind. Like, this is not okay. Blah blah blah. And like, I'm like, you guys can just call the
match. Call the fight.
It's done. She lost. Like, and he's like, it's got to keep going. And so like Brandon mentioned, Gohan is seemingly powering up to beat the shit out of Spopovich. Yeah. And Goku's like, Gohan, don't do it. Don't you do it.
Yeah, so I don't really get why Goku's trying to keep Gohan from jumping in at this point.
Yeah.
I guess because of like the rules of the match. So the thing, but I don't know.
Those are their own rules, aren't they? Well, oh no, I was thinking of Super Saiyan stuff. I don't think he wants him to go Super Saiyan for one, just because like doesn't want that to happen, and two, yeah, I think it is rules. And because I don't think Goku's scared.
No, I don't think he thinks she's gonna die though. I think he's just like trying to observe like what Spopovich is like up to.
Yeah, and Goku's like not realizing that's his son's girlfriend who's getting the shit beat out of.
I mean, yeah, she's definitely getting messed up.
He's like, I need to keep observing.
And then it gets to the point essentially where Spopovich is like crushing her head, like stepping on it, and she's like crying, and it's really sad, and she's dying, and like it's gross.
I really thought she was gonna die. This is where I was like, yeah, I thought she was gonna splatter open, and that's like Gohan's gonna charge in, classic trope
and freak out
in movies, and go so hard that he kills Spopovich or something. But it didn't happen. Instead, Yamu is like on the sidelines, and he tells Spopovich like, quit playing with her, it's been long enough, finish the fight. And I was still like, oh, finish her, like he's gonna pop her head.
Yeah.
But instead he just kicks her off to where she falls out of bounds, and she is beat the fuck up.
Yeah, big time. And she needs a sensu bean, so Goku instant transmissions to Korin Tower, and that's where it ends.
We see Yajirobe
with the mustache.
Yep, it's actually sick. New fit too.
What'd you give that one?
The fit, 400 out of 10.
No, I meant the episode.
Oh, I actually I would give that one a 7.
Really?
I loved the brutality of it.
So I think it was a really good episode. I would probably give it a 6, or maybe I gave it a 5. I could definitely see the argument for a 6. I give the previous one a 6. I think they're probably equal. So yeah, maybe 6. But it's really, really good. I guess I just know what's to come.
Yeah,
like I know there are 7s coming.
This is a unique 7 for me. It's
for sure.
Not a predictable 7, not a hype moment.
Right.
But there's something cool, or whatever interesting to watch, like the villains win.
Yeah, and we
really
forgot to
hard
mention,
sometimes.
Right, and we forgot to mention Gohan did end up raging out and going Super Saiyan, but right before, did we say that?
No,
right before he got to her is when Yamu called it.
And which is interesting. The problem with going on in Gohan's head was like, well, no, that's actually next episode. I was going to say he's thinking about going Super Saiyan and he shouldn't, blah, blah, blah. But we'll get there.
Regardless, episode 218 is called Identities Revealed. A much slower episode, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Which is a shame because it seems like the next episode is going to be very good.
Yeah.
But this one, there's not a whole lot to say other than, like, to me, even if she won that fight, like, and they didn't have sensu beans, like the logic of the tournament, like, if she had to fight again, like, she would have there's no way she would win unless she had, like, a 3 days of recovery time.
Right? Yeah, no,
anyway,
she's
out. Just a side note.
Also, they give Goku gives Gohan 3 sensu beans to give to Videl, which is funny because like we watched Yamcha's chest become not a hole with 1 sensu bean, so she's got 3. She's about to be.
He only gave her 1 though.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Which is funny because Korin gives him. He's like, "Hey, I have a feeling that you're gonna need all of these."
And
soon.
Goku's like, "I agree."
And he's like, "Don't use all of them at once." And then Goku just gives Gohan all 3 of them.
Yeah.
It's like, well.
We also learn here, just in Gohan taking care of Videl, that Mr. Satan now knows that they're dating.
Yeah, more or less.
Blah blah blah.
Even though like they don't even know that they're dating. But
I know the whole show is like they're dating, and then Gohan's still like, ooh.
Ooh. But there's not a whole lot to say here. He gives her, or they're mostly waiting on the sensu bean. There's not a whole lot that happens. Goku's eating food at the tower, which is why he takes so long, which is just them fluffing up the episode. And and Gohan gives her the sensu bean, and it's very heartwarming, and it's kind of funny because Satan doesn't want her to, and he does anyway. And then Hirasa and Sharpna finally find out that Gohan is the Saiyan man.
I was dying to know about their quest. So
well,
I'm glad we got an update on that.
Yep. And then Piccolo tells everyone that he's the Supreme Kai, and then basically like Gohan goes in with Kibito, and then Kibito's just like turn Super Saiyan, and Gohan's like, no. And he's like, just do it.
And then like, I'm not supposed to because it'll ruin everything at school.
Yeah.
It's
like, they won't let me in school anymore.
And this is when the stuff that we were talking to happens at the same time.
You think he's going back to school after this?
Hell no. He shouldn't. I mean, don't. Here's the thing. Low-key, like, high school can kind of be useless a little bit. You know,
probably not in Japan.
Fair. In America, high school can kind of be useless depending on where you go after high school. Also, when you're a Super Saiyan, like, yeah, I mean, Superman's not going to school, you know?
Yeah, well, he does.
He does, but...
Anyway. And so Gohan looks over at Piccolo, and Piccolo nods, so he's going to do it.
Yeah, and this is when Shin is like... Shin has this weird compass thing, like indicator...
No, that's not Shin.
Measure,
that's...
Yamu.
Yamu.
Has a weird compass thing that has one of their little M symbols in the front of it, like where the north would be. I guess it's indicating like...
What does the M represent? Like, does it mean something? Maybach.
Mercedes Maybach. Mercedes-Benz. I don't know. I have been under the impression that Spopovich and Yamu are connected to Shin and what's-his-face, which I'm not too sure if they are necessarily. It, like you kind of mentioned, it seems like the M dudes are looking for something, and Shin is trying to suss out exactly what.
And it looks really cool when Gohan starts going Super Saiyan, for one, which is hopefully an omen of good things to come. And on top of that, I give this a 3 out of 7.
I would give it a 3 out of 7.
Also, what do you think? So what do you think now that we know a lot more about like the role, like the characters, I guess, like Supreme Kai? We still don't know what Kibito is per se, and then Spopovich and Yamu, we got like more of a read on them. Do you think so you think this is like setting up for something like Long Con, or do you think this is setting up like the arc that we're in?
No, it feels like this is the end of the beginning of the end.
Do you have any theories on what they're going to... Okay, so your theory for Gohan?
I don't know, because I don't think the M guys and Shin and them are connected.
You think... Yeah, okay, I was going to say, do you think they're on the same team?
What's happening feels connected.
Right.
Like, I feel like he's like, go Super Saiyan so I can check out your strength and make sure you're good to be a Frankenstein, and then I'm going to turn you into a Frankenstein. But they seem unconnected.
Do you think there's going to be like a villain for this arc? Like a Frieza or a Cell? Like someone you'd put on the poster, you know what I mean? Like a main...
No, I think it would be... If anything, I think they do manage to take Gohan and turn him into a Frankenstein. And that would actually be a fun arc if he's the Frankenstein. He's the villain.
Yeah.
So you have to beat the villain without killing the villain and restore the purity of Gohan. I don't know if that's where this is going.
That'd be a little tropey, but it would still be good.
But, I mean, this is 30 years ago, so... Yeah. You know, what's a trope back then? Does it still feel like a trope? Or tropes today, were they around back then? You know, who knows? I really have no idea where we're going. Sometimes I'm like, these guys are good guys, and sometimes I think they're bad guys, and I'm confused, but I really like wherever we're going. With
Goku only being here for 24 hours, if you remember.
Yes.
What do you think his role is here?
I think
because he doesn't have like that much time.
I think shit's gonna go down, and right when like the big, you know, Avengers versus Avengers fight's gonna happen or start, Goku has to be dead again.
Just so like that.
The good guys are feeling good. They're like, we've got Goku. We're gonna win the day, and then like right before, Goku's
at
gone.
A time.
So now they're like, shit.
Cool. All right. Well, I think it's a good spot to end it. Ladies and
gentlemen,
good to be back. It is good to be back. Thank you for your support. This has been Dragon Ball Speak episode 67, and hopefully we'll be back. That's all, folks.